Second part. The sound of waves rocked the night that had fallen over the island. However, no matter how intently the average... Second part. The sound of waves rocked the night that had fallen over the island. However, no matter how intently the average person might listen in to spots so far removed from the coast, there was no way they could ever hear that sound. For the sound of waves was ringing in Meg's head. The thing that had suddenly appeared in the distance as their vehicle sped through the trees, grass, and vines finally took shape as an enormous scientific research facility. "This is the castle?" the girl asked, but Denai's reply was one she could have expected. "Does it appear as such?" "No." The gigantic metallic dome glistened in the moonlight, with rows of pipes that ran on forever like a road, and innumerable smaller domes. There were absolutely no antennas, or other protrusions, from the stylish design. This was certainly one of the nobility's facilities. But even more than that, the old-fashioned stone steps and the motley array of passageways leading to the dome were hallmarks of the nobility. Take away all its modern stylishness, and replace it with rough walls with narrow slits, watchtowers, and minarets, and you would have a castle. "In that case, let's get going," said the girl. "We don't have time to waste. It's night already. Our world. Do you think yourself safe because I accompany you?" asked Denai. "You've got to be kidding me." "Why not wait here until daybreak? More importantly, you may be able to meet some of your acquaintances." "Excuse me?" Meg exclaimed, eyes agleam. Darjan gave her a nod. There was no trace of pain on his face. Wesley had left a storage box on his vehicle, and in it had been a first-aid kit containing pain relievers. The kit had probably belonged to the settlers. "This is the research facility, Meg," Darjan said, turning a frightened gaze on the building that towered in the darkness. "I've never been back there since I escaped, but the last time I saw it, these were ruins choked with weeds. And now, it's just like it was back in the day. It's too remarkable, even for something the nobility did. What the hell happened?" "You said it was a research facility. What kind of research?" Meg asked indifferently, and she instantly regretted it. Even through the darkness, the look on Darjan's face gave her goosebumps. "Experiments to turn humans into another life form." As soon as she finished listening to his morose delivery, Meg spun around angrily. Denai had a distinct grin on his face. "Having come this far, would it not be odd for you to continue on without knowing? A portion of your compatriots were sent here, which is precisely why I stopped." "Everybody's inside. A portion. But they're here, right?" "Where?" Denai raised his right hand and indicated the massive central dome. "Don't lie to me." Meg adjusted her grip on the harpoon, aiming its point at Denai. For some reason she got the feeling she could have killed him with ease if she so desired. "I shall keep my word. You shall be brought as far as the castle. Any battles along the way, however, will be without comment or assistance from me." "Who'd want your help anyway?" Meg spat venomously, and then she looked back at Dargent. "You can't use your arms, so wait here. Loan me that weapon of yours now. No, I'm going with you. Don't worry, I won't slow you down. I can flee with the best of them. In that case, okay. Meg assented easily. When she thought about it, it made sense that an injured man wouldn't want to stay behind with a noble. Slipping on the hand of destruction, Meg immediately gave up on trying to use it. It simply made it too difficult to work her fingers. For a harpooner, that was a fatal flaw. In terms of sheer destructive power, her weapon couldn't begin to compare, but it gave her a much better sense of security. As soon as the girl took the hand of destruction off her arm, Darjan started to object, saying, "Hey, use that. It's a lot more powerful than that harpoon of yours." Giving the harpoon a rap, Meg said, "But I'm more used to this. It may not be the easiest thing to use, but you'll get accustomed to it soon enough. With our lives on the line, this is the choice for sheer power." Meg pretended to mull it over, then said, "Okay, just in case." She secured his weapon to her belt. "Aren't you going to show us the way?" the girl asked. Denai only grinned and replied, "I should warn you, there are a few researchers inside. Be careful." When the human stood before a wall without a single seam, a rectangular entrance opened. The light that leaked out reached all the way to the pair, casting small shadows at their feet. Coughing once, the girl said, "Here we go." Meg walked through the nobles' doorway. They stood rooted in place in a lobby that looked to be 100 times the size of the square back in her village. "State your destination. Even a murmur will suffice," said a voice that suddenly rained down on them. It was genderless, synthesized speech. "Our destination. Where would that be?" The girl wondered aloud. "The location of the humans abducted from the mainland," Darjan said in her place. Meg recalled that he too had been a test subject. The scene around them changed. What's all this? A movie?" "No," said Darjant. "We're moving at ultra-high speed. We're moving." The very thought was inconceivable. It didn't feel that way at all. There wasn't even any breeze striking them. The movement had apparently finished while the girl was still busy being stunned. The black wall before them had the same door in it as the one in the lobby. Meg hesitated. Things were going too well, and worse yet, far too speedily. It would be best to plan on things turning ugly any minute now. However, even realizing that, she had no choice but to go forward. Harpoon at the ready, Meg went inside. The room was overflowing with light, and the ceiling, floor, and walls were all black. "Is that stonework?" the girl asked. "Yeah, it is." "Why?" "Iron and steel would do the job a lot easier from what I've heard. The nobility have a penchant for old things, which is why they favor antiquated carriages and castles over ion cars and buildings of plastic and metal alloys. A castle made of iron would never do." As she listened to Darjan's explanation, Meg was half in a daze. There was fog there in the room, too. Here and there tables that looked like black beds slipped in and out of sight, and on them were forms that were most definitely human. "They're here," Meg exclaimed, and she was just about to dash forward when Darjan blocked her way. "Why the hell did you stop me? I know what it's like. I know what kind of experiments they did here." It's probably already. Already what? Meg was about to really lay into the man when, out of the corner of her eye, she caught some kind of crimson glow. They were small luminous points. However, every last one of them was set in the faces of the figures on the tables, who were looking their way. It was their eyes. Thus proof they're vampires, D'Argent told her. They're not just victims anymore. These are full-fledged servants of the nobility. Vampires. That's not true. Now each and every figure sat up on their table and looked at them. That's one, Auntie Mabel, and over there's Mr. Omer. Emilio Capsch, Gilisuna Capsch, and Zacco. Raoul's here. Everybody. You're all okay, right? Meg herself didn't believe what she was saying. Meg, let's get out of here. We're too late. Though D'Argent jostled her shoulder, Meg didn't move. She had to know for sure. She had to see with her own eyes what had happened to them. A dense fog covered the girl's eyes, then quickly flowed past. An old woman was standing there. Auntie Mabel? So good of you to come, Meg, the deeply wrinkled face said, smiling gaily. Let's get out of here, Auntie Mabel, and get everyone else, too. Our village is 1,000 times better than this creepy place. That's not true at all, the old woman countered. What? Our life here is wonderful. The nobility made machines to do everything, and my infirmities don't trouble me anymore. You know about all my health problems, don't you? I have the gout in my right foot, and arthritis in the left. Any pressure on one or the other hurts like the bones being shattered. I've got an acute hernia that left me hunched over, and my liver, kidneys, and pancreas have all lost 90% of their function. My lungs are shot, so I get to coughing at night and can't stop. Do you know how it feels to not be able to get to sleep every night out of fear you'll suffocate? And all that got wiped away. The old woman's face was radiant with joy. She's right. Mr. Omer's aged, sun-bronzed face appeared from the fog. Meg heard D'Argent swallow hard. You know how I was in the final stages of lung cancer, right? Mr. Omer continued. Hell, you even came and visited me. But you know what? Not a single person from the town hall ever came. In 82 years of woodworking, how many boats you figure I made? How many did I repair? Now I don't want to toot my own horn, but how many hundreds of lives have been saved by the double hulls I built, do you reckon? Meg, the town hall called in a new shipwright to replace me, didn't they? That was a top secret back in the village. When Mr. Omer had become bedridden a year and a half earlier, the village had already offered his position to a shipwright from the North Shore 50 years his junior. Every day the old man had shot his mouth off, asking, Who are you going to get to fix your boats when I'm gone? And a portion of the village had definitely found him irritating in that regard. Meg didn't answer, and apparently taking that as her answer, the old man nodded deeply. The way I am now, I've got 100 times the strength I had in my prime. Look at me. With this mallet and chisel, I could probably build a boat from scratch in half a day's time. But that's not what I'm gonna use them for. I'm gonna use them for destruction. I'll use them to pound those town hall bastards who couldn't wait to see me dead into the ground once and for all. His hand was like a spectre, rising from the sea of fog, and in it he gripped a chunk of iron with a keen edge. Which reminds me, Meg, did you try to stop him from bringing somebody in to replace me? No, actually. I only found out after it had all been decided. Though Meg had spoken the truth, the old man shook his head gravely. That's what they all say. Auntie Mabel, and the whole Gates family beside her, and everybody else says that. I wanted to protest, but it was already decided. But next time, I'll stand up for you. Well, there ain't a next time. Meg became aware that at some point she'd lowered her harpoon, and was adjusting her grip on it. But that doesn't matter anymore. Meg, I've been sweet on you since way back. Always thought you were a little dear. So you'll become one of us by my hand. The old man hauled back with his right hand. No, Meg exclaimed, and as the word exploded from her, the harpoon in her right hand thrust forward. Second part, end.